Welcome to Girl Dad Nation. In this bonus episode, I ask Ralph Martinez about the tooth fairy and creative ways of pulling out loose teeth.
Girl Dad Nation.
So Ralph, your daughter Ava, she's 6 and she just lost her first tooth. And I wanted to do an episode just about the tooth fairy, losing baby teeth. And if there's any like extreme ways as a dad that you've helped your child remove a tooth, would love to hear those things.
Yeah, and with all my kids, I never really like growing up. I can remember the way and things were a little bit, I think, more rougher when I was growing. And then I'm a boy, and I grew up with a brother who's a year older than me, and he was always really, masculine and tough. And I remember when I was growing up and my tooth would get loose, my brother would tie a string to it and he'd start yanking it even before it needed to be yanked, And I was always, to me, really rough. And I've always let it happen the way it's going to happen when it comes to any of my kids. And, like, for example, like now with Ava, like this tooth, it got to a point where it was almost about to fall off by itself. Right. And so it got to a point where she actually got the courage to pull it out herself. And I told her,
she did.
Whatever you want to do, right? I mean, you can leave it, or you can, if you want me to do it, you let me know, and I had been telling her for weeks, well, if you want me to play with it, you let me know, we can try to wiggle it out. Oh, no, I'm not ready. Okay.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready. And so the other morning she comes in last weekend, as a matter of fact, she walks in, she said, Dad, I think it's ready. And I said, you think what's ready? Right? All random. I think it's ready.
Yeah.
What's ready? She said, my tooth. She said, look, it's about to fall out. And it was kind of hanging. And so I said, hold on, don't touch it. Let me get my camera because I wanted to record it. It was her first
cool.
tooth. And yeah. And so yeah, she got a napkin and she said, I'm gonna pull it out myself, Dad. And I said, you do what you feel you need to do. I'm here to support you, right? And so she did. She went and got a napkin and she tore the napkin and she got the tooth and she stayed looking at me, and then she just yanked it and it came right out, and then she was
brave kid.
She was so excited at the fact that she lost her first tooth and that she had the courage to do it herself, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a really exciting thing. And then she was really excited that now the tooth fairy gets to come, and that's a pretty big theme,
Yeah. Does the tooth fairy come to your house?
Oh yeah, the tooth fairy comes to the house. And I don't know, the tooth fairy, must have a lot of money because like Ava got a lot more for her tooth than what I did when I was a kid, and when I was a kid, I'd get like $1 or $2, and we left five $1 bills underneath the thing. And to her, that's,
she got $5.
Bucks,
I think I got a quarter when I lost my teeth.
Yeah, that'd be like 75 cents, and be like, cool, I got 3/4 or whatever. Yeah, when we were kids, but no, yeah, we left $5 under it, and she was so excited. She couldn't believe that the tooth fairy came and was so gentle that she didn't even feel her, And she asked me what the tooth fairy does with all the teeth, and I told her that I think that she saves them, and that she uses them for wishes for other little kids that need good things to happen. And so she was excited to know that she could be a part of another kid's wish, but she was just really excited, man. She was really excited. So those are like, those little things really matter, in a kid's life. And it helps me to remember how much they mattered when I was a kid, and you almost forget about things like that until you have your child going through that. And you're like, wait a minute, I remember now how important that was and how magical that was, and the feeling that, you can almost feel the excitement in your child, and you remember the excitement, you got when you were a kid. And so keeping that imagination alive, again, feeding that imagination, really important. So it's a really exciting thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the most awesome things about being a parent, I think, is creating those magic moments for your kids.
Right.
And that's something that they're going to remember.
Yep. Yep. They'll remember it forever. Yep. And how it happened. I remember being a kid, and I remember my brother tying tying a string to my tooth, and then tying a string to the door and having me hold on to the couch so that I don't move, and him slamming the door. Then the tooth came out, and it felt like this big old traumatic moment. And I'm like, and I remember that. Eva will remember how she had the courage to do it herself, right? And she did it in her own time, right? And so, so things like that play a big role.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing those stories.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you again, Matthew, for for putting this Girl Dad Nation together and documenting all of this stuff. It's it's really important. I think that as fathers, we sometimes, I know I've felt like sometimes, am I doing the right thing? What more can I do? What less can I do? And then hearing other stories, has helped to guide me to be a better father, right? To be a better father for my daughters. And so this is just another piece of that tool. It's a very, very important tool. And so thank you for taking the time to do that, for having the heart to do that. Thank you for having me on the show. I feel honored and humbled to be thought of. And so keep up the great work.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. Like just hearing those stories and what that means to you and the other people that I've talked to. It's so cool to see people just like rally around this, that it's just like sharing the joys of just being a dad and just how valuable that is. It's amazing. Thanks again to Ralph for sharing those great stories and being a supporter of this mission. If you have a Tooth Fairy story, I'd love to hear it. Tweet me at GirlDadNation. And be sure to follow the show so you'll get the latest posts and updates. Thank you for being a part of Girl Dad Nation. Until next time, go be a dad.